Megan Chance is a spiritualist who once said, "You learn to run away from what you feel, and that's why you have nightmares." To deny is to invite madness, to accept is to control. All of us have the tendency to hide or run away when faced by a problem, but we've noticed that the problems don't disappear if we hide from them. They resurface again and again and again. And so, once upon a time, it was customary for the outgoing station master to brief his replacement about the little idiosyncrasies of the area. In a country like India, the trains were a part of the culture, inherited from another time. Bhagwant Singh had a fairly long sojourn as the station master of Indore and was certainly looking forward to the silence of the Khasa Railway Station, a much smaller railway station with a lot less responsibility for its master. He was going to enjoy being back in Punjab and savor the joyous air of home. Mohan Rai had come to the end of his lists of do's and don'ts as the outgoing master. And now there was just one little thing that he needed to explain to Bhagwant Singh. Every night, past midnight, at about 1:15 in the morning, there comes a train from the Atari direction. When you hear the train coming your way, go into your office and do not come out till the train has left the station. Mohan Rai smiled and made it look like a routine expectation from a station master. Do not come out of my office. What do you mean? Bhagwant found that bizarre. I mean, just don't come out of your office till after the train has left the station. That is all I wish to tell you about it. Mohan Rai brought the conversation to an end with the finality of a man unwilling to relive an unspoken terror. His smile cracked, and behind his shifty eyes, Bhagwant could see dread. He let it go. The first night on the job, Bhagwant decided to stay up late and catch up on a lot of tardiness that Mohan Rai had left in his wake. At a little past 1 in the morning, he could hear some shouts on the platform. As he stepped out of his office, he saw the regular station workers scurry out of the sight of an approaching train. Then he remembered what the station master had said, the dreaded 1:15 a.m. train. He stood rooted to the spot. A part of him wanted to stay where he was and see what the train was about. The other part of him was terrorized by the sudden goings on around him should he heed the warnings that had been handed down to him and quickly shut himself into the safety of his office. The other part won. On the frosted window of his office, he could see the pale yellow light of the train cast strange shadows. The light stopped moving. The train had arrived. Silence. Then strange moans shattered the silence of the night. Cries of pain that could shake a steely heart. Silence. Then the light and the glass began to move. The train left as silently as it came. 10 minutes later, when Bhagwan stepped onto the station, it was business as usual. like nothing had happened. This, this was really bizarre. The happenings of the night troubled Bhagwant immensely. It was not like him to hide in the office out of fear. He knew how terror worked. It was contagious. Someone else's terror could easily become yours if you left it unchecked. He could not borrow terror and make it his own. He could not live with it. He was not a coward. That night, when the train approached the station, all and sundry scurried away, but Bhagwant did not. He stood his spot bravely. He even moved closer to the tracks in a move of silent defiance. If he was going to tempt fate, he was going to do it with panache. The train arrived. To his amazement, it did not look like a modern locomotive. There was something archaic about it. As it approached the station, in silence, Bhagwan saw that no one alighted from it. He began to walk the length of the train, and what he saw made him shudder to his foundations. It was a train of dead bodies. There was no one alive in it. Women, children, men, young and old, all dead, slaughtered. Some of the bodies were burned and charred, some hacked and dismembered. Then out of nowhere began the moans, not loud, not shouts of pain, just whimper, as gentle as the wind. Bhagwan stood there, horrified. Then the train chugged away from the station. It was in the early hours of the morning. Bhagwan sat in his office, the moans still ringing in his ears. He knew what the train was. Everyone who worked in the railways had heard about these trains and from where they came. But to actually see one after all these years, it was a surreal experience. It had to mean something. Bhagwant was quite certain he knew what it meant. The last train before the 1:15 a.m. train, it terminates in Ambala, right? Bhagwant asked the linesman that afternoon. The linesman nodded in agreement. Tonight, after the Ambala train passes, change the line so that it terminates in Amritsar. But sir, the linesman began to protest, but Bhagwant shut him down with a show of his hand. Bhagwant refused to go home. He waited. The 1:15 a.m. train steamed into the station. Bhagwant closed his eyes and fought his tears as the moans filled the air. He waited till the train left the station and then looked at the train like he was seeing it for the last time. He was. The train was never to come again. 1 month into his job, the linesman found enough familiarity with Bhagwan to ask him what he had done to stop the train. Bhagwan sighed, a deep sigh. It was not a train in reality, just a ghost train. It was a death train from Pakistan. I believe a few of them exactly like that came from Pakistan during the partition. But you know why it kept coming every night? Because we refused to look at it. We hid ourselves. And so it came night after night. Then a month back, we terminated the track at Amritsar, the site of one of the holiest temples. The train got its absolution. Yet, it only happened because we looked at it. There is no healing of those wounds by looking away. No looking away has ever helped. The train has passed, but some moans still have to be silenced. The linesman knew that in times to come, no one would believe the story.